Hi guys, this is Tony here from Metal Ruse. You're about to sit down and enjoy an interview I just did um, over there, and so do like and subscribe so you can get all this straight into your streaming and into your consciousness as soon as it arrives. So enjoy the interview, and I will. Over to you, Tony. It's good to chat to you, Richie, about this new album that's coming out
I'm
quite
super
soon.
pumped,
I
man.
think it's tomorrow, isn't it?
Friday, yeah. I don't know what
Friday.
day it is down there though. It's probably already
Thursday here.
Friday there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's Wednesday. So Friday's the day after. I've lost that days of the week, man.
So it happens, man. It's all blending together these days.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've just finished listening to it again for the third time this
Yes.
morning, and wow, it's a killer album.
Thank you, man. I definitely think it's something that kind of grows the more you listen to it. You start seeing all the awesomeness and the deepness of the songs and the characteristics of the album, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you do absolutely do. I think the keynote for me is the Dolores, right? I really love. Um, that's my favorite track on the album.
I
Uh,
love that, man.
yeah, and the way it moves, it's so unusual, you know.
Yeah, I think that's what this record has a lot of. I think we're able finally, with the guys we have in place and the bond that we've been building over these years. It's like we're understanding, hey, we're a heavy metal band that can take these parts and take these pieces of whatever punk, grindcore, anything, and really fuse it awesomely. Like, take Lies, for example. That
Mm,
song is kicking you in the face, and then it
yeah.
ends with this killer melodic outro that you don't expect, but it doesn't clash. It flows like it should, and I think that's the exciting part about this album. And like Dolores and Doubts and the Fears, like really,
Oh, yeah, Doubts and the
you know,
Fears. Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah.
really playing with stuff on that, man. I think it's exciting and it makes it feel fresh and new and organic, and the vibe is just really hitting right now.
Yeah, it is, man, because that's modern metal at the moment, isn't it? You do anything you want, no stress, right? Like, I think I love that. Like, there's almost doominess in there. There's some sort of hints of Sabbath in there. You know, you name it, you can hear what you want in this album. Like,
I love that.
mm,
We're influenced by so much music, man. Like, from L, he's like late 40s and Lennon's early 40s and I'm 40 and Lane's 30. There's so much history of music and influence in there that we're able to like not be afraid to like test the waters and really, see what we can do. You don't want to make the same album, and we're
yeah.
not somebody that's like, oh, we obviously can make a heavy track, but now we
Mm.
can show that we are fantastic musicians as well and really expand on what we do.
Well, particularly, absolutely, and the vocals on this album, particularly, I think is better even than I thought. The last one was a cracker, right?
Thanks, man.
This one like is like I mean that's because you've got two beautiful. I mean you got produced by Steve Everts, or I can never say his name, Everts or whatever it is,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and mixed by Arthur Ritz. I mean, this is big. These are royalty, man. Like,
Yeah,
and it
like
comes
that's
across that
that's
way.
something. Yeah, that's something that's important to us. I think like, you know we don't spend a lot of money on like press. We don't spend a lot of money on promotion or tours or dumb bullshit. We put it where it matters, and the producing and the art. That to us growing up was the most important thing. And I think over the years production values lost a lot of its quality.
Oh
And
God, yes.
bands rush things and they pro tool it and copy paste. And Steve is very old school. He keeps it real takes and everybody recording together and doing it together, and really pushing you to fucking just get that real intensity out of you. And I think being 4 albums now, it's like we don't want to work with anybody else because of just how fucking awesome he is as a person and as a producer, and like getting the
Mm.
best out of us. And Arthur Riss, like, the last 10, 15 years, that dude has been involved on the best metal albums that have been put out. And, that was Steve's idea. He was like, I want Arthur to do the final touches on this record. And, we were just like, fuck. I mean, yeah, of course. Like, whatever you want, dude. So, and the label was behind us and really cool and supporting these ideas and allowed this album to flourish and, become what it's becoming.
Yeah, truly. It's so layered and textured. I mean, talk about being recorded in the same room and Steve's old school, right? There's something about this sound. that you're getting and he gets that was missing for the early 2000s. You know, like I mean, I point to Iron Maiden. I'm a massive Iron Maiden fan, but you look at listen to those first early 2000 albums, flat,
Yeah. Yeah.
almost soulless, to be honest, and that's
Oh
sacrilege,
yeah.
right? Oh, to be saying that, right? But then you come to bands like albums like this where you've gone backwards in the production techniques, as you say. Um, but it's not, is it? It's somewhere the perfect sweet spot.
Yeah, I think so because you can't fight all of technology. We're
No,
not Corn. We can't go record an analog record for, $1 million,
no,
but we can do things that bring that organicness back. And that's definitely what Steve, is all about, and this band is about. We when we started, yeah, that was the procedure, man. You went in there and sang one chorus and they just copy pasted the rest. And I think most of the music in that time was soulless and flat, and
mm,
just didn't really have the balls. Everybody was always like, oh, you guys are such a good live band. They never gave a shit about the records. And with Wake Up Dead, and I think like, this one, they're really understanding like where that was missing. And now, Steve is creating that for us and bringing these old school techniques that are giving soul to music again, and especially, heavy music like that. That has to be real feeling. It has to be, that grittiness, that heart, coming
mm.
out into it. And, I think that's what, Steve and Arthur are able to do with a band like us.
Yeah, and of course because your vocals are so distinctive, when
Yeah.
you can hear the breathiness in the tracks. You know, it's
Yeah.
not just like you said, cut and paste. Oh, that's the same each time. I'll go back to Dolores, but because I love it.
Yeah.
But you go from chorus to chorus, and it's almost like it's the same take. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
very
It was hard.
breathy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's just, he's amazing too. And I think a little of that comes from like my influence of like Chino Moreno. I think that's something I've always loved about what he does, and
Mm,
whether it's Deftones or Crosses or whatever project he's doing, he utilizes that breath and the way it is, and makes it just feel so real, like he's breathing in your ear almost. And
yes.
I really wanted to finally incorporate that, and I just also getting better. I never learned. I never took classes. I never really even understood what vocals were. I just went out there and yelled, and it shows that when you just start that way, it takes time to get to where you want to be and learn the right ways and learn the proper procedures. And Wake Up Dead was really that record I finally began to like harness and really play with things and try things, and look at my voice more like a guitar, how you can create so much with it. And I think Deadbeat on the last record was really that turning
Yeah.
point where I was like, whoa, I can do other things rather than just yelling. And Dolores was that super expansion from where I was. And now it's so exciting. I can't wait to do like the next record and be like just fucking just blowing people away and trying things that I never knew was possible. And that's the beauty about music, man, is you can always learn and grow and create something new that you never thought possible.
You know what? Absolutely, man. Because it is such a vast difference. I was listening to your first album to this. It is such a difference. Like
Oh yeah.
in like this is mature. I mean, 21 years you've been going, not
Yeah.
recording,
Oh
but
yeah.
21 years, long time, right?
Oh yeah.
First album 2009, and 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 you think you go, it's such a mature sound now. And like you
Yeah.
said, you've got that lovely sweet spot with Steve and Arthur and the band. It's a sweet spot,
Oh
and
yeah.
and you can hear like even the notation, the drumming, the guitar work, everything is so clean but so dirty at the same time.
Yeah. Like you can hear it, but it's still got that nasty metal feel to it.
Yes,
And
yes,
I think that's cool. Like that we're a band that like didn't come out and blow our load on that first record, and then like forever we're like chasing that. We were given that space to be like, okay, they're gonna put out a couple shitty or not so great records, and then
mm,
we'll watch them take their shape. I think Oppression and Built to Destroy, they're really good records, but to me they're the obscure ones in our growth. When you listen to like Up in Hell and then you put on like Wake Up Dead, that right there
mm,
is the natural progression of this band.
mm,
Those two records we brought in a former guitar player that really took and held hostage the writing process and really just downgraded it for the rest of us. And like, the vibe just wasn't there. And I think that's what was reestablished with Wake Up Dead and so much more on this album. So when I look back, I'm like, damn, those first two are kind of like demos, and then Up in Hell is where you hear us like really kind of start to build a sound. And then Wake Up Dead, Savage, it's like, fuck, now that right there is what makes sense to me. And it's cool to be able to see that now and really be doing what we should have been doing on album 7. It's cool to have that vibe.
But also, you can look back now. That's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Because your fans
Yeah.
and the people who don't know you, who come across you, and there will be people that don't know you who come across you and
Oh
put
yeah.
your record on and go, "What? Hang on, listen to this," and then you hear the growth, and that's so wonderful for fans. I love that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love putting on a band's albums and going, "Listen to this first one," where it's like almost like they don't know what they're doing because it's raw. They've got no money. They're doing it in a cheap studio,
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to do it themselves, and then the passion's there, but it's locked in a cage. And then
Yeah.
you get to something like, as I said, Savage New Times, and you go, I mean, Lies, for instance, you go, yeah, this is a different beast, right? It's a whole different beast.
100%, man. And that again goes to like the point, like, we're not chasing some huge album we did early in our career. We're able to go in and each time make something new, make something furthermore advancing us. And that's cool to be getting better at this stage of our career. And I think that just shows too to the broader metal community that like,
Oh,
there's so much time in metal to grow and get better and find yourself. And I think you're seeing a lot of those bands taking 10, 15 years before people are really learning about them. And
mm,
then it's like, damn, I got all this cool music from like Power Trip, who I'd never heard for, and they've been around for 12, 13 years until I
mm.
finally heard them. Or Knocked Loose, or a lot of these new bands that are making headway. It's like it takes time, man, to really develop your sound and develop your feel and get everybody on the same page and ticket and going forward. And I think that's the cool part about metal and what we're experiencing like heavily right now.
Brilliant. And it's also because you tour so much, my friend. It's like you
Yeah.
play live. I mean, great bands in history, all the great bands in history are not studio bands. I mean, yes, the Beatles
Yeah.
towards the end,
Oh yeah.
but they're not, are they? They're bands that have spent their misplaced youth in sweaty clubs trying to trying to learn and
Oh
be
yeah.
part of the thing, and then suddenly growing into their own self. And that's what's great about Incite is that you play all the time,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
With anybody
with
too, man.
anybody, right? Anywhere you'll
Like,
play, and that means it translates to the albums, right?
yeah. It helps us expand because it's like if we can go do a tour and play our music for Gorgoroth fans and they dig it, and then we can do a tour with Il Nino and those people still dig the same songs. It's like we have something here. It's just a matter of packaging it and bottling it and selling it right, And
Yeah, it's the
I think
hardest
that's,
part.
yeah, 1,000%. Because we just did a tour with Hatebreed, and then next we're gonna go tour with 6 Feet Under. It's like in the scale of metal, those are
Wow.
those are two different worlds. That's hardcore, and you're talking, death metal. It's
Yeah.
like two different things, and we're gonna be able to seamlessly go from one tour to the next and not miss a beat and have people be like, "Oh, what the fuck is this?" But we're gonna give them something that they can enjoy, because at the end of the day, it's all heavy metal, and that's like what we're all looking for. Something fun, something fresh, something that like jars emotional response out of us. And we're a band that loves creating a safe space for mental health release, man. And that's
Oh yes,
like
thank
what
you.
that's
Yes.
yeah, that's like what we feel we are and what we do. You can take something in our album and find a relatable issue that maybe helps you, or coming to the show and raging in the pit and smiling at the same time as having that bad day. It's like it's why metalheads are some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet in the world, because we have this safe space to create our emotional release. And that's a beautiful thing about what we all do.
Man, honestly, perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better, man, because
Thanks, brother.
it's exactly how. I mean, firstly, yes, because let's be honest, most of the audiences are male, right?
Yeah.
We know that, right? Even though
Oh
it's
yeah.
getting much better,
Yep.
predominantly male, and males have a very hard time expressing their emotions. It's
Oh
something that
yeah.
we just, as males, it's much harder to do.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you come into this space and you can let that out, it's so refreshing. It's why I'll
I
always be
agree.
16, man. It's why I'll always be 16 because I could put
I,
albums like this on and go, I'm 16 again, right?
I agree, man. I think you hit it on the head too, because like that's something I dealt with is, abuse and stuff like that in a relationship, and being a man, there wasn't shit for me to find in terms of help or
Yeah,
reaching out to, it was like really just family. That was it. And that's why the song Used and Abused is on this record, and why it's so important to me to show people out there that, yeah, we are dudes and we're tough and we're all this, but you still can go through that shit and
yeah, man.
not know how to face it or whatever. But heavy metal is that place, like you said, where you can go and find other dudes that have been through this and releasing it healthy, and not being a danger to society. Now you're actually becoming a positive in society by releasing that there and going over here to help the next person be able to release that as well. And that's what I love about doing this, and
Yeah.
probably why I'll never quit doing metal.
Please don't, because
Definitely.
because things like use and abuse, like you said, right? All art for me, this is personal, but all art is creating art is painful, right? It's a painful
Yeah.
process to create art.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you have to give it to the world, and then you have to let the world digest it, and then
Yeah.
tell them, then some douche telling you what he thinks of it, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
as
That
you know,
that's
okay, right? Um, but what you've done the most painful bit. You've taken your personal story and you've given it to the world, and then you have to let. It's such a lovely release for you, right? Like you said,
oh
like
yeah.
just go over there, go
Oh
away.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I've said it now. I'm done. And playing it must be difficult. I can't imagine when you come to play that must be a harder one for you.
It was definitely, like you just said too, like I feel like that's how this band has been. Like I was very closed in on what I wanted to release as far as like to the world. I think I started to learn as time grew, like how reviews are and how critics can be. And,
Mm,
it's like something that's so deadly important to me and something that almost like ruined me. They don't see that, or they just take it as like a song and that's it. And this record, that's truly what I wanted to do, was just like I'm gonna put it all out there, and I don't really care how the feedback is. If they don't like it, then that's okay, but I was able to get this off my plate fully this time, rather than be like, oh, I could have did this or I could have said that. And I
mm,
think that's when you really hit peak kicking ass in music, is when you're able to lay all that out, because that's ultimately what this is about, man, is laying your cards on the table and for the world to see and critique and whatever. But at the end of the day, you're knowing that there's going to be a couple of people out there that take these songs and relate and get better from them and can move forward in their life. And there's songs that have helped me through terrible days or bad relationships or anything. And
yeah.
we want to be that for other people.
Oh look, absolutely. I mean, I can tell a story that I my sister-in-law, she passed away a few years ago,
No, I'm
and
sorry, brother.
oh yeah, we were quite close. She was in England, but she passed away a few years ago. She was a big Blondie fan, right? And she gave me, before I came to Australia, she gave me all her Blondie records, and
Oh damn.
we used to listen to together, yeah. And I went to a tribute night one night, and this Blondie band was on, and I just could not stop crying. It was like this release because I sort of thought of Jill. I was like,
Oh yeah.
and I even had to go up to the singer and give her a hug and say thank you because I hadn't
Oh
let
man.
go until that moment.
Yep.
And so this is the
Yep.
thing about this is this is why personally, and I'm talking, but you should be talking, but
No, you're good.
this is why personally I don't like to criticize musicians in any way possible because
Yeah, yeah.
you don't know as a listener, you don't know the journey that you've been on, Richie. You
Yep.
don't know the
Yep.
journey that that person's been on. All you do
Oh yeah.
is hearing this consumption, and it's not what you like, right?
Yep. Yep.
But they don't like it. Don't play it, mate. Don't say bad things. Just go, no, it's not for me. Switch off.
Exactly. And I think that's something we can like take just from the music world and expand into a bigger picture of the world, and like
Mm,
just really being about like healing yourself. You don't have to go out there and heal everybody. You don't have to like have your story be the thing that helps somebody else, but you can always go out there and present it and try and hope that it does good and helps others, and does what you set out for it to do. And that's always like a great feeling. And I think always you'll find somebody that'll like run into you at a show and be like, this song really helped me get through this
Love it.
day. That
Yeah.
that helped me get through that. And that truly like that's something I think I took a lot from my dad, to watch the people that come up to me all over the world and they're like, dude, his records, helped me through the worst times of my life. They got me through, this
Yes.
this terrible feeling and this and that. And I think that's like what began to grow in me and to understand like really what music was about. My beginning was like, oh, I just want to go out there and write songs about fucking killing and kicking ass and fuck all this. And,
Because you're a
like then,
teenager. That's what you do in, right?
yeah, for sure. And that's how you grow and you see the big picture on things and understand like truly what, music can do. And, putting yourself out there, it ends up helping more people than hurting. So you just kind of navigate the field and do what you want to do and respect the way that you do it. And that's the most fulfilling part of this.
I mean, it's so true. I mean, your father, I mean, for all the brutality that he has produced,
Yeah.
there is beauty in it. There is
Oh
great
yeah.
beauty in it. And I think we've talked about this before earlier, but I agree that people see heavy metal and they just think ugly.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh yeah.
think, I'm always wearing a shirt, right? Ugly, right? No, it's not. It's a shield for
Yep.
what's inside. And when you get
Yep.
inside, there's brutality, there's ugliness. Of course, there's the human race, right? There's
Yep.
also moments, like I said, like on this album, where you go, that's just lovely, right?
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
and you shouldn't be afraid of it. I think this is what people are afraid of, is they're afraid of actually saying, I really dig this and I understand it.
That's 100% true, and that again, what metal's about. Like when you think of like pop music or some hip hop and rap, you
Mm,
kind of see this false existence that most people they're not gonna relate to.
no,
It's just it's fun or whatever that they get from it is cool, but that's a temporary fix, and it's not fixing the true deepness of what's happening in their life. You
no,
can go dance and drink and be at a club and listen to the song, and it might be fun then, but it's never gonna resonate truly with your soul and pairing those things. And that's again what heavy metal is about and why it's the most true form of art expression in music in the world. And seeing it reach places like India now and
oh
China
yeah,
and Russia and all
amazing.
these. Yeah, dude, it's great to see that and like watching people like overcome governments and things like that because they're listening to heavy metal and seeing the different picture and really being able to be compassionate with others and feel like hey, like my daddy might be the craziest looking dude and wrote some of the most deadly fucking metal songs, but when you meet him, he is truly the nicest human you've ever met in your life. I mean, it's like Corpse Grinder, he's at the
Yeah,
state fair winning stuffed animals. It's like that dude's writing hammered to the brain, kills like shit like that. It's like, that's like where you realize what we are and who we are and how real metalheads are compared to every other kind of music that's really out there.
it's
It's special.
art. Yeah, it's art
Yeah.
after all. It's art, isn't it? I mean, at the
Yep.
end of the day, it
Yep.
truly is art, and
Yep.
art is subjective.
Yep.
And what again? I want to go back to this album as before we finish up. I want to say that this great album, as we said, Savage Times, um, is really artistic. I think that's the
Uh,
right term for it, man. It's really textured and layered and interesting. It's just not one note, right? You
yeah.
know, we've all got albums in our collection that we put on, and you get to the end and you go, "Did I really hear more than one track?" It feels like it was just one thing.
Yep.
But then you put on Savage New Times, and you might be doing washing the dishes, you might be walking the dog, you might be in the garden, but something catches you. And you go, "It's different, man." Like,
Oh
what was
yeah.
the one? One the is it Chucked Off? Is
Oh
that
yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right? Because I wrote a bit read just a rat, which is a great single, and then you
Oh
come
yeah.
into just Chucked Off. You're like, because it doesn't just go. It goes, "Boom," like it's almost like a
Yeah, and I think the lyrical direction too in that track really catches you. You if you really pay attention and to hear the wordplay that's happening and the strong meaning that it incurs with those is something I really love about that track. And there's a lot of people that want to be the victim out there and try to
mm,
try to play that as their card. When they're really the piece of shit causing all the problem. And that's something that was big in my life. And I think like the standout to me. is like the road that you're on is your own asphalt. Like, that can be looked at as like 20 different ways. Like the road I paved is this asphalt that I made, or this road I'm on is my own asphalt,
Asphalt. I love the play on words. I love it.
like that was something I really found on this record to be able to do. And like, again, like doubts and the fears, that in the core and the breakdown has this line where it's like, I've earned my place in this world. And that's like, to me, one of like the most powerful things I've written too. And I think
Mm.
that like metalheads will see that and feel that and experience that, because we all do, earn our place in this world through one way or another, whether it's helping people or, living a carefree life or whatever that is, and
Mm.
I like that you went and saw the deepness of this album and the songs that, what they really have on them. And that's what, true metal is about, rather than just being washed over as just, oh, it's heavy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true. That's exactly right. I mean, you put on Beethoven, for instance, that's very heavy, but it's textured
Oh
and
yeah.
layered takes you on journeys. It's
Yeah.
the same with this.
Yeah.
I'm an age now of an old man. I like to hear music that can create that emotion in me because I've heard a lot. I mean, not disrespect, I've heard so much.
Oh yeah.
It's every
Oh
day
yeah.
it's something flowing through my head. These never come off, right?
Oh yeah.
Um, so to put on an album like that and actually get stopped for a moment to think is really lovely and really refreshing. And it's not very often to be honest, Richie, these
That
days.
hypes me up, brother, because like you said, there's so much music out there. And,
Too much
from when
noise.
we started to now, I
Mm,
mean, there's probably a million bands more. And, every band that's created is ultimately competing against every single metal band that's ever been, because they're all still around
mm,
touring and promoting their bands. So,
mm.
you don't just jump in and there's less bands than there used to. There's always more
Always
and
more.
more and more.
Yep.
So, when we write a record, we want it to be different. We want it to stand out, because yes, there's so much of the same, and you can only have so many Slaughter to Prevails out there that it's like, okay,
Yep. Yeah.
what's
Yes.
gonna be fresh in my mind that comes in and just is like, whoa, damn, hold on, like hit the brakes. And for you to say that is like, that's one of those moments where I'm like, fuck yeah, like I'm so happy that I'm doing this and we did this and weren't afraid to like step outside of our box and really push the envelope on what metal can be and how fresh it can still be at this point in time.
Yeah, more for you, man. More the better because it's a refreshing album. You know, I was only listening to some extreme black metal early this morning, like because that's what I was into this morning when I woke up,
Hell yeah.
and then and then I put on I put on this because I thought I'll get one more listen through before I chat,
I love that, dude.
and I was like, gosh, man,
I
this is
love that, dude.
so refreshing.
Now all we got to do is get us down to fucking Australia and New Zealand and shit.
Please
Like,
come, man.
dude, if it was our choice, we would have been there 40 times already. It's just, I'm hoping over the last 2 days out of nowhere, I've done like 15 interviews for Australia, and
Yeah.
I've never done this. So I'm hoping something's like cooking that I don't know
Oh,
about.
put
And
it in
like,
the
oh,
universe.
yeah, bro, manifest this shit, because,
Manifest.
we want to come down there and smoke some of your great weed, enjoy your beaches,
Yeah.
eat some fucking meat pies, and just,
Oh,
enjoy
mate.
it. Eh,
We'd love you here, man, because this country loves this kind of music. It
Thank you, because what you're
really
doing
does.
is hopefully helping that process happen, man. And
Yeah.
that's big respect to you, brother.
Yeah, it does because we live on an island so far away from everyone. I grew up in London, man. I could go anywhere I wanted to when I was a teenager. Here,
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
so
yeah.
far away from everywhere that when music comes and you get it like that, you sort of go, "Well, I understand, man. This has," and then the audience will just go,
Yes. Let's
right?
let's make it happen, man. We're creating that moment right now
We
with
are
you
right
and
now.
uh, all the
Absolutely.
metalheads.
Yeah, that's it. There's whoever's watching this, and there's be a lot of people. Let's get them here, all right? That's what I say.
Yes. Make this happen. I don't care who it is, if it's just a headline, whatever. I don't even give a shit. I need to play there. Lennon and L have never been there. They
Oh,
joined the band right after the year that we last went to Australia, and it's like, one time we've been there in 20 years is just that's egregious, man. I've been to Russia and played there more than Australia, and that's bullshit.
Isn't that's crazy, isn't it? When you think about
Like,
that, right? That
doesn't
just
even
blows
make
your
sense.
mind. It doesn't make
It,
sense because the audience here is
no, you're
that's
you're literally just the next island over across the water from me. Like, there's got to be a way to make this happen, man. So,
yeah, yeah.
that's what we're praying for this coming year, man. Is really to get down there and finally just really put a great tour together with you guys.
Brilliant. Yeah, because honestly, the bands that are coming through this country at the moment, it's madness. I can't keep on top. I cannot keep on top of it.
I know I
Um,
heard you have like 120 some odd just metal shows alone over the
yeah,
remainder of the year.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah. I
fucking insane,
cannot keep on top of it.
dude.
And it's driving me. It's wonderful. It's a lovely thing to have. I'm not
Like,
going to complain, but because when I first came here, it was like the desert. There was nothing.
Jesus. Well,
Uh,
promoters and bookers, there's no fucking excuse why you're not having us down there then. Because
yep,
if I'm hearing this kind of shit, it's let's do this. Let's
yep.
do
Let's
this.
do it. Well, when we hang up, I'll send a very worded email to the promoter.
Yeah, strongly worded emails are the best way to get
Strongly
anything
worded
done,
email in all red letters. And underneath,
dude.
I'm not a loony, promise.
Thank you so much, man. Like, that really is like truly what we need and what we want, and it's our bucket list to return down there and just slay metalheads, bro.
Brilliant, man. You're gonna love it. Some great venues here.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for chatting. And
Hey, thank you, thank you, bro. Like, taking your time to do what you do, and how many bands there are, and how much stuff there is. Like, it really means a lot to me and the entire band, our whole team, bro. So big ups to you and all the people listening and checking it out, and mad respect. And hopefully, again, we'll be down there smoking a joint together in no time, brother.
we will see. Definitely. Okay.
Hey,
Bye, my friend.
have a good weekend and a week and everything, brother. Be
Yeah, yeah,
well, okay?
and hope the album blows it out of the water when it gets released, my friend. I hope
Come
it's a
on, let's
big
get it.
tidal wave.
Let's get it, man. I need to make some donations to some dogs and get the animals taken care of. I'm fucking ready.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
let's do it, man.
Hey,
Okay.
cheers, brother.
Yeah.